following is a presentation of Main Street Media, your source for news, sports, and information on Main Street in Middle Tennessee. Happy Hump Day. It's Main Street Sports Today. And if you're watching, no, that is not Friday, January 28th. It is Wednesday, February the 2nd. Hey, big show today. Joining us at 2:15, talk a little NASCAR, the Busch Clash in L.A., plus Daytona coming up. Norris at 2:15. And then at 3, the news yesterday, Tom Brady retiring. Well, we'll talk to a guy who knew him pretty well, Shaq Mason, former teammate with the Patriots, will be joining us at 3 today. Now, the Lee Company studio for this Hump Day edition with the Hall of Famer and Sports Writer of the Year, Mo Patton. Here is Sundrop Kid from Alabama, Chris Yao.
Welcome in. It is a Wednesday edition, and I am excited to get to it. We've got a great show lined up, as you just heard, and we're also going to talk about National Signing Day today, which used to be a big holiday. Now it's kind of ho-hum. It's unfortunate because I miss that. I miss National Signing Day being a big thing.
Well, tune in December.
It's not even big then because not everybody signs. I mean, it just feels like they've taken something that was great and said, let's just screw it all up.
The NCAA?
Can't imagine, right? Can't imagine. Anyway, but we will talk about some National Signing Day news that has happened throughout the day. Of course, we talked about Brian Flores suing the NFL briefly yesterday as we went off the air because that's when we found out about it. We will get into that as well today. We'll talk to Shaq Mason, as you just heard. Norris joins us to talk about the Clash, which is coming up on Sunday in NASCAR. It's going to be a lot of fun. Wild and Wacky Wednesday, of course, we get the weirdest and wildest news from across the world. But before we do all of that, we have today's top story and some results from yesterday. Tonight's schedule. Let's get into it, Mo, and give them the rundown.
This is the rundown.
High school boys basketball action from Tuesday night. Lancaster Christian defeated Zion Christian 44-40. It was Lincoln County defeating Lawrence County 77-63. Page with a 78-43 win over Spring Hill. Culleoka defeated Hampshire 69-32, and Loretto defeated host Mount Pleasant 59-45.
In overtime at Santa Fe, Wildcats get the big District 10A win over Richland 45-43. It was Ravenwood 72, Columbia Central 62, handing the Lions their first district loss. Independence down to Nolensville 84-39. It was Hillsboro, a 65-57 winner over Summit, and Columbia Academy breaks it open late with an 83-50 win over Grace Christian.
In high school girls basketball action on Tuesday night, Lawrence County defeated Lincoln County 53-39. It was Page 69, Spring Hill 16. Hampshire with a 66-49 win over Culleoka. Loretto 81, Mount Pleasant 23, and Richland hangs on for a 41-38 win over Santa Fe.
Columbia Central pushed the Lady Raptors of Ravenwood, but could not get over the hump. It was a 57-52 win for Ravenwood. Nolensville, a 42-36 winner over Independence. Summit down Hillsboro 36-32, and Columbia Academy a 39-33 winner over Grace Christian.
In NHL action, the Nashville Predators defeated the Vancouver Canucks 4-2. SEC men's basketball action, top-ranked Auburn wins the Iron Bowl 100-81 over Alabama. Also in SEC play, number 22 Tennessee defeats Texas A&M 90-80. And if you've not seen Zakir Ziegler's crossover at midcourt, you need to check it out.
It's impressive. Tonight's schedule, JUCO basketball at the Web. It's Volunteer State visiting Columbia State, doubleheader starting at 5:30 p.m. with the women. In NCAA men's action tonight on SEC Network, a 6 o'clock tip. Kentucky, number 5, hosting Vanderbilt. And an NBA action. You can actually watch the Grizzlies on ESPN tonight because they're playing in New York. The Grizzlies visit the Knicks. It's a 6:30 tip on ESPN. And that's going to do it for today's rundown. All right, today's top story comes from Washington, where
it's the opening kickoff, right?
It is the opening kick, as the football team has changed their name to the Commanders.
Just when I was kind of getting used to the football team.
I kind of like football team, but it is what it is.
It could have been football team up Washington, FTW.
For the win.
For the win.
Except that wouldn't have made sense at all.
Commanders.
Where do you grade that?
I give it a B.
Okay.
It's not great, but it's not awful.
Could have been worse.
I was really hoping for Red Tails.
You and I both. We were both hoping for Red Tails, and unfortunately, we did not get that. But I'm seeing a lot of hate on the internet, and let's be 100% frank and honest. It wouldn't have mattered what they said. 90% of the people were going to hate on it.
A lot of people were going to hate it for the simple fact that as long as Dan Snyder owns the team, it doesn't matter what you call them.
And not just that, but you could have called them the Red Tails, and half the people still would have been mad because they said, well, that's dumb.
That's dumb.
That doesn't have anything to do with Washington. Just a lot. And so I'm getting a lot of, well, that sounds like an arena football team name. What does that matter? People talk about like the XFL and the USFL and the Arena League as if their nicknames are somehow equivalent to minor league baseball team names. But they're not.
No, they're not.
It's
a nickname. Come on. Ease up. This isn't, seriously, it's not brain surgery. It's not curing cancer. It's football. Have some fun.
This doesn't sound as professional. It doesn't sound like an NFL team name. So you know what they should have named them? The Bulldogs or the Wildcats, like the Lions and the Bears, the Packers,
the Seahawks.
It's just,
come on. And what makes a nickname sound professional?
Exactly.
The fact that it's been used somewhere else in a professional arena. I don't. What? Half of the teams in the National Football League are using high school nicknames. And you're mad because these guys want to be different. The Titans doesn't sound like a professional nickname. That is an XFL name if I've ever heard one. And the Buccaneers.
You got two Pirates in the league, the Raiders and the Buccaneers. And you didn't even call them Pirates.
Broncos and Colts. What's with the horses in football?
It doesn't make sense. Anyway, I do want to sue them though for the TriStar in their logo.
Whoa, how are you going to use a TriStar and not be what?
I'm very confused. Bottom left-hand corner of their shield, there's a TriStar. I guess JP made the logo because every logo JP's ever made has got a TriStar in it.
If you're in Tennessee, you can't not use the TriStar.
But seriously. They're not. What? In Tennessee.
No, they're not. They're not. Of course, no, their TriStar is certainly not offset.
It's not a TriStar like ours.
Yeah. So,
but there are three stars.
3 stars. Yeah. That's interesting. Oh well.
Anyway, it's a B. I was gonna go B+. So it is what it is. It's gonna be okay. Y'all are gonna be fine. You were just getting used to Washington football team. Everybody made fun of that too, and now they're like, "Hey, that wasn't that bad after all."
I may still call them that.
Commanders ain't that bad. Let's talk about some NASCAR, Mo. It's been a while since we talked a little NASCAR. I guess since the last time we had Heather on.
Probably.
So this time we have Trackhouse Racing president Ty Norris. He's going to tell us about how the clash is going to go down in Los Angeles at the Coliseum. Should be a very great conversation. So please stick around. Main Street Sports Today returns after this. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader-building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, zioneagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's zioneagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
Keep your home as comfortable as possible. If you have any issues with your air conditioner, electrical, or plumbing systems, call Lee Company. Our techs use visual findings and other technology tools to add transparency and clarity. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on the roof. We're here 24/7, so if you need us, call us. Lee Company. Call 931-548-4448 today or schedule your appointment at leecompany.com. That's leecompany.com.
Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net. Welcome back into Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint and coming to you from the Lee Company studio. Well, I'm excited about this next conversation because I just can't quite figure it out. I cannot figure it out.
Well, I mean, we talked to Matt Cruz a couple of days ago, and he made it sound like the logistics are the easy thing, and maybe they are. Maybe it's just mind-boggling to us because we're not in that world, and so
we're definitely.
But how do you turn a football stadium into a race? We've seen a racetrack turned into a football stadium,
which seems a little easier, but maybe not.
I don't know. Let's find out.
Absolutely. We go now to Trackhouse Racing President Ty Norris joining us now here on the show. Ty, welcome in. Thank you for taking some time with us and talking us through this, man.
Absolutely. I'm excited to kind of I hope I can answer a question or two for you because it seems like you guys have a lot of questions about this whole stadium.
I don't know that we have a lot of questions. I think we just have one. How does this work?
That may have multiple answers, but
there are a lot of subset questions around that.
There we go.
So there's a couple of things. Our the Clash, which has always traditionally kicked off the season to kind of just knock the rust off before the Daytona 500, has always been run in Daytona, and it's quite honestly an event that's been fading as far as popularity and attendance and really interest in the networks. We're not overly excited about it, but of course it's an event they have to cover as part of the speed weeks, and so NASCAR challenged themselves to figure out what could they do that would be different and could just really shake up. And they basically said everything's on the table, and that's what I love about this new regime. It's like everything's on the table. Let's talk about it. And they were actually looking at things in California, not the Coliseum at the time, and someone out there in that area started having this conversation about that you have this 77,000 seat facility that's sitting there idle, that you guys could do pretty much anything you want to in the winter with it, and that's what started the conversation. Fox is based in Los Angeles, was just all over it, very, very excited, and so let's just see what it's going to look like, how we can make this work. So obviously it's a ton of work to create a racetrack inside of an iconic stadium like that. But NASCAR was bold enough to make the change and make the move, and went to the teams and said, listen, this is going to be a little bit of a logistics challenge to go to the West Coast, 2 weeks before the Daytona 500. But here are the reasons why. And if you guys buy in, we're going to do it. And the teams were like, let's give it a shot. So that's why it happened. And I'm with you. I didn't think that they would be able to pull off a reasonable sized racetrack inside this Coliseum and let the asphalt cure long enough for these really heavy cars to go out there and go as fast as they can go and put as much force into these racetracks. But they've got it set up, and I was just on the phone with the people who are running the facility now, and their jaw dropped. The place looks incredible. The aesthetics, the visuals of this event are going to be one of the coolest things we've had in this sport in 20 years. So it's really, really exciting to think that with all the work that has gone in, that they're actually going to pull this thing off. And so I also asked you several times, like people who attend the Kentucky Derby, tell me about the race. They're like, oh man, the mint juleps were awesome. And,
Amen.
and I saw this celebrity at the event, and I couldn't believe that I ran across, Justin Timberlake was standing in the suite next to me. Oh yeah, well, who won? It was that guy there with the white hair. I can't remember his name, but so that's what happens at those big events like this. And so what NASCAR has created out of something that was just an also ran, let's do it because we've always traditionally done it. They've created an event that people will talk about for years. And the people who are coming to that event, there's a couple of things. There's people in the grandstands who are coming to that event, the spectators. 70% of the people who have bought tickets have never come to a race before. About 30 or 40% of them are Hispanic. And when you start looking at about who's coming from a celebrity standpoint, and I hate the word celebrity, but from an influencer standpoint, and the people who are decision makers, the list is so long. Like they need their own section at the stadium. So even the founder of and the creator Murdoch and his board of directors from Fox are coming. Like it's really going to be a spectacular event. Whether the racing is what traditional race fans love or hate, who knows? But the event itself is going to be very memorable.
Influencer.
I'm not sure which word is.
That's a sign of the times.
Yeah.
I think right there. But yeah, but you know what he means when he
Exactly.
says it.
Mm-hmm.
Trackhouse Racing President Tom Norris joining us here on Main Street Sports today as we discuss the clash on the West Coast coming up this weekend. And Ty, Chris is the NASCAR fan of the two of us. My next race will be my first, but I've always been told that if you ever go to a race, go to a short track. Doesn't get much shorter than this one.
No, I mean, it's like this is pretty short, and we've not raced on the track this size since the 70s, and and I certainly wasn't around to watch it, so live. But the Martinsville, Virginia, is our half-mile track, and the cars look slow there because we were very very fast at some of these 1.5 mile, 2 mile, and certainly super speedways. So I think, visually the cars probably will not look that fast. But, the thing that the slower you go, the more you can bump and bang and move people around. And that's what people loved about the sport as it was in its formative years. So, it's just kind of like, if you're gonna, I've seen them race bikes of the Tour de France, and if it's spread out, it doesn't look that great. But you put them inside, then you go to the Olympics and you watch them go around little tiny circles. That's just pretty exciting. Because they're all over each other, and it'd be interesting to see how the race plays out. But I want to address something when you talk about influencers. Here's who influencers are in our industry. Influencers in our industry are not the people who got 10,000 views on TikTok. The people who influence our business are corporate America and television partners. And so when television asks for something dynamic like this, and when we're in a television renewal conversation that's coming up in a couple of years, and we're a sport that needs to continue to put its growth trend in front of people who are going to be negotiating our next television agreement. Those are the people who we need. Those influencers. Those are the people we need at the racetrack. And then corporate America, those who look at the sport and say it's not the same old aging demographic. This is new, younger, it's more diverse, and those are the people who we are trying to influence. We don't care so much about the TikTok dance. We care more about the influencers who are going to influence our business moving forward, and that's what this stadium is attracting. That's what this event is attracting, is people that are going to. I have CEO of agencies. I have company presidents. I have a lot of people coming to that race who haven't been to a race in a couple of years. So that's when I talk about influencers. I'm talking about business influencers. That's who's important to our industry.
Ty, when this first came out, we all had the questions and that sort of thing, but it looks like everything is going to be pretty impressive. 130,000 square feet of plywood went on top of the field. So, we're protecting the field. Tons of asphalt and catch fencing and safe barriers and that sort of thing. It's just going to be a really interesting event. Now, the only reason that this is going to be able to work is, one, the Busch Light Clash doesn't have all 42 cars on it at the same time, right? I mean, that makes it a little bit easier. And then on top of that, you've got some smaller cars. Are they going to run the new gen cars or the old cars?
No, so this is really the debut of the next gen car. It's
awesome.
It's a tad smaller. It's not significantly smaller, but it's a tad smaller. And but you're right. There's no way you could run a full field on there, which is why they're breaking it up into heat races, last chance qualifiers, and you have to earn your way into the final. Every team is going to get a chance to go out there and run a significant amount of laps in the qualifying races and the last chance qualifiers and things of that nature. So everyone's going to get, a significant amount of laps on this next gen car and to learn a little bit more about it. What we learn at the stadium or the Coliseum, I apologize, is not going to apply at Daytona. It's not going to apply at Charlotte. It's not going to apply at in Nashville. But it'll be our first time really kind of working with the car in competition. But yeah, they'll have to learn. I think the final race, you have to qualify into that final. There'll be like 40 entries, 36 or 40 entries, and only the top 24 are going to advance into the last 150 lap race. So it'll be a smaller field for sure, but it's still going to be plenty crowded, very, very crowded, and that's what makes it exciting. Sometimes you have to move somebody to get by them. They might move you back to get back by you. Who knows what's going to happen on the racing surface? But, I think everyone's going out there with a phenomenal attitude, which is, we're here to put on a show for these people who have never seen us before. And quite honestly, to promote the next week is our Daytona 500, or 2 weeks later is our Daytona 500. So you're going to be in Los Angeles with NASCAR's kickoff of the next gen car. The next weekend in Los Angeles is the Super Bowl, and the weekend after that is the Daytona 500, which is quite honestly NASCAR Super Bowl. So it's going to be a pretty amazing promotion. LA is going to be a pretty amazing promotion for our biggest race, the Daytona 500.
Significant 3 weeks in sports coming your way, folks. And again, it starts Sunday, 5 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Eastern. 5 p.m. Central on Fox, Big Fox. FS1 and FS2 will show practice and single car qualifying as well. But you can watch the race begin at 5 o'clock. Ty, thank you so much for taking some time with us. We really appreciate it, and to look forward to maybe talking to you again sometime later in the season.
Now that you found my number in the bathroom stall, call it anytime.
No question, man. Oh, Ty Norris, President Trackhouse Racing here on Main Street Sports today. Gosh,
I almost
made it.
You almost made it.
Ross Chastain will be representing Trackhouse Racing Chevrolets in the Clash, so it's going to be a lot of fun. You'll see at 5 o'clock on Fox. We're going to get out of here and take it to the other side of the break where we'll talk a little National Signing Day. High school/college football coming your way on the other side. Stick around. Main Street Sports Day returns to the Lee Company studio after this. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
Keep your home as comfortable as possible. If you have any issues with your air conditioner, electrical, or plumbing systems, call Lee Company. Our techs use visual findings and other technology tools to add transparency and clarity. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on the roof. We're here 24/7, so if you need us, call us. Lee Company. Call 931-548-4448 today or schedule your appointment at leecompany.com. That's leecompany.com.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net. Welcome back to Main Street Sports Today. I'm Chris Yao, joined as always, Mo Patton, JP Plant, pushing the buttons.
I couldn't figure out where the camera was, so it's right there.
It is.
You need not worry which camera, because I could be on any of them.
We don't know where the cameras are coming from.
That's the whole idea.
He's like,
Can we not get a red light or something? So we know where to look.
You just look at each other.
Yeah.
You're just carrying on a conversation with each other.
Okay.
Our listeners are just a fly on the wall.
Light? Oh, little Roxanne. No.
Put on the red.
Hey, this is not on our run of show because I just ran across it, updated at 1:36 p.m. today and posted at 12:43. I had not seen it. Jackson State no longer participating in the Southern Heritage Classic. Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
They announced Wednesday their football team will no longer participate in the Classic, one of the most attended HBCU Classics in the country. On Wednesday, they announced the termination of participation in the annual game. They stated their governing athletic conference, Southwest Athletic Conference, has entered an agreement that conflicts with their agreement with the Classic. The university has been in agreement with the Classic since 2019 and was not supposed to end until 2024. That obviously is played between Jackson State and Tennessee State, which is what makes it important to us. But they played it in Memphis at the Liberty Bowl. Sorry.
The what?
The Liberty Bowl.
He's being catty.
Just a little. But that's kind of big news.
That's huge news.
What has the SWAC done to end this thing?
I can't. It sounds like to me that Jackson State is using the SWAC for cover, to be honest.
It's possible.
Because I don't think the SWAC would have done anything that Jackson State wasn't aware of or didn't know about or didn't sign off on. So that's I think you have to hate it for Tennessee State. I think because it's a pretty big game, and I've covered that game on numerous occasions, and that's something that the TSU fan base really looks forward to. It's something that the Tennessee State football program looks forward to. I mean, Memphis is a recruiting stronghold traditionally for Tennessee State, and part of that is the opportunity to get those kids back home once a year, and to know that that's the case. So be interesting.
That is, yeah, it's something, all right. This segment was supposed to be about National Signing Day, and we should certainly talk about that because there were a couple of surprises. One was a semi-surprise. Although it was a surprise to us, it wasn't a surprise to anyone who covers recruiting. Dan Lanning, when he went to Oregon, decided to take Jordan James with him.
Longtime Georgia commit. I think he committed back. It was certainly back in the summer. I think it was March. Was it March?
That's when
so
he
it wasn't
that
in
tweet.
the summer.
When he pinned that tweet that's
still up there, by the way. It was up there even after his announcement for sure. So,
but yeah, so Jordan James going from Georgia to, and again, this kind of makes sense. Dan Lanning.
Yeah,
probably was a recruiter.
I assume that was his recruiter. I mean, that's the only thing that really makes sense. But the Oakland running back, longtime Georgia commit, flips on signing day. You got to love a signing day flip.
Yeah. I mean,
it's still pinned. Isn't that it right now?
Man, I bet he doesn't even know. He's not even thought about it. Nonetheless, will not be a Georgia Bulldog, at least for now. Might be later.
4,542 career rushing yards between Brentwood Academy and Oakland. So it's a big move.
I didn't see anything really that just stood out to me for Tennessee or anybody else specifically that just made me go, oh, wow, that's fantastic.
Well, I mean, it's kind of like we were saying, kind of like you were saying earlier with the December signing date. I think it kind of takes some of the steam out of the February signing date. So
it does. And there's a lot of times where you just go, oh, okay, cool. I know Texas A&M had lost a recruit who had decommitted middle of the month or so, and I'm not sure where he ended up. But it's funny because the only person who, after Dan Lanning took the Oregon job, the only person who was projecting Jordan to stick with Georgia was friend of the show, Ryan Callahan.
I'm sure Ryan will appreciate you pointing that out.
But in his defense, I mean, the rest of the guys were from out west, so it was kind of like more down party lines.
Maybe so.
But I just thought it was interesting that that this signing day just kind of felt blah, and it's just unfortunate because I was really, you look forward to it every year, and right now it's just not something that anybody kind of really worries about. And Tennessee did get New Jersey defensive lineman Jason Jenkins, who was pretty big, to go with Tyree West and Jordan Phillips. They also got James Pierce and Joshua Josephs of Kennesaw, Georgia. So defensively, it looks like Josh Heupel has decided maybe this is maybe playing defense isn't so bad.
Well, if he had not decided that before the Music City Bowl,
think that made it up for him.
Yeah. Vanderbilt, anchor down. beach receiver, which if you followed beach football for any period of time, the thought of them having a receiver recruited, let alone a 3-star receiver, is pretty interesting. But Andrew Page tabbed the Commodores over Middle Tennessee State this morning. So 35 catches, 639 yards, 9 touchdowns this past year. Has to play either H-back or tight end in the SEC.
Did you see who Middle Tennessee State did sign this morning, though?
I did not.
Justice Chadwick of Tullahoma. Got him a pretty good kicker. You'll take kicker of the year.
Signing kickers.
Hey.
Got to have them.
Ask Nick Saban what it's like when you don't.
Yep. Yeah. I wish I knew how big Andrew Page is.
He went from a receiver to wanting to play tight end and H-back in the SEC. He must be pretty big.
Yep.
Speaking of...
One thing we do want to mention before we get out of here, I came in here on 2 wheels because I was down in Mount Pleasant for the signing of defensive lineman Dontavius Ellison with Bethel University and friend of the show, Michael Jasper. So,
speaking of big guys like Dontavius and Mr. Page, how about
and Coach Jasper?
How about the other side of that coin?
Mm.
Brady Pierce, preferred walk-on, headed to Kentucky.
Yes, sir. The triplets.
The triplets are headed to Kentucky.
Again.
Big Blue, BBN, baby. Hashtag Big Blue Nation. I'm excited to see how that works. I hope he wins that award for the former walk-on.
I'm excited to see where he winds up. Receiver, safety, what?
Probably. Should have went to Arkansas if he wanted to win that award.
Yeah, no doubt.
But yeah, he very well could do anything. You know, it's Brady Pierce, man. He may be punting by the end of the season. We don't know. Anyway, it's time for halftime. Let's get to it. Got some stuff we need to discuss there. So it is time to take a break. We'll be back in just 1 minute after this with halftime. So I'll come back. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Maury County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net. Zion Christian Academy, zioneagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's zioneagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
Keep your home as comfortable as possible. If you have any issues with your air conditioner, electrical, or plumbing systems, call Lee Company. Our techs use visual findings and other technology tools to add transparency and clarity. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on the roof. We're here 24/7, so if you need us, call us. Lee Company. Call 931-548-4448 today or schedule your appointment at leecompany.com. That's leecompany.com.
Well, we didn't get a chance to talk about it yesterday. We had so much going on, but we did mention Jerry West losing his Lakers season tickets, which to me is insane. I don't know how you can't just walk into any arena and say, I'm Jerry West. And
or just walk into any arena.
Well,
because I'm not sure you should have to say.
If Patrick Ewing has to tell folks who he is in Madison Square Garden, I'm sure Jerry's probably got to let folks know too. Unless, if I'm Jerry West, I just wear an all white like jumpsuit and have like red and blue like streamers hanging down from the side, and then just do this,
and then pose.
Yeah, and then pose.
Recognize this? That'd be me.
Just pull out a logo on your phone and be like, "This is my pass. That's me." You want to be able to just walk in and sit down. Apparently not.
Not in Staples Arena or
what's the name of that?
Whatever it is, I know.
Crypto.com.
That's it. Dumb.
The crypt.
That's the problem.
Crypt.
Yeah. Who's the crypt keeper? Is that
Good question.
it's clearly not Jerry West.
Yeah,
He's not allowed.
I don't know how things got so sideways. This is in the article on The Athletic as they are counting down the top 75 players for the NBA.
They're counting down the days that the Athletic exists. That's neither here nor there. We'll get to that later too.
Yeah.
Anyway, so what'd you say? It was without warning or explanation, his wife Karen received a text message from the Lakers last season informing them her family's seats would not be granted. Unbelievable. He's freaking Jerry West.
Pretty much. And yet, can't get a seat in the arena he helped build.
Unbelievable. Well, speaking of unbelievable, Mo, Brian Flores didn't keep his job, didn't get a job. There's a lot to unpack in this situation, but he is suing the NFL for discriminatory hiring practices. Should be a long and drawn out process, but we will get our initial reactions to it right on the other side of the break. Then we'll talk to Shaq Mason as we get his reaction to the retirement of the GOAT. All of that and Wild and Wacky Wednesday coming your way on Main Street Sports today. Be right back after this. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50 plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner. The look of a winner.
It's the second half on Main Street Sports today. Coming up, Shaq Mason joins the show. Talk about Tom Brady's retirement, plus Wild and Wacky Wednesday. More NFL news as well. Back to the Lee Company studio with the Hall of Famer and Sports Writer of the Year, Mo Patton. Here's Chris Yao.
Welcome back in. It is Wild and Wacky Wednesday. We'll give you the weirdest and wildest news from across the world later on. But first, we talk about some other weird news, but sports related. As former Dolphins head coach Brian Flores has at least filed a lawsuit against the National Football League for discriminatory hiring practices, at least partly based upon some text messages from the guy we're fixing to talk to's head coach.
Yeah. We probably shouldn't ask him about that.
We'll just keep that. We'll keep that one to ourselves.
Yeah. But yeah, it looks as if texts from Bill Belichick to Brian Flores that were originally intended for Brian Daboll. Thank you. Because I wasn't quite sure how you pronounce that. Or
that's how they pronounce it in Alabama, so it's probably wrong. When he was in Alabama, that's how they pronounce it. But that doesn't make it right. I'm just saying that's how I've always heard it.
You said it, not me.
It is Daboll. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, Thamel.
Right. Or I don't know if at the center would be the right phrase, but they are certainly a key portion of the suit that Flores is bringing against the NFL, the Dolphins, and the Broncos. Is that right?
Yes, the Broncos are
Were the Giants
named.
also specified? He
Yes.
specified. So he
Yes.
specified 3 teams:
Giants,
Dolphins,
Dolphins, and
and-
Broncos.
okay.
Correct.
and the NFL
As
as,
a
a
whole.
whole.
Correct.
And as you and I were talking, Chris, I think it's going to get messy because I think it's going to go to court. And I think that's the purpose of it, is to create some transparency that has not previously been there, and to make some people say some things and own some things that no one has been able to make them say and own previously with regards to hiring practices.
I can't for the life of me understand which the Rooney Rule, in theory, right, was supposed to get a minority person in the room and force them to have a conversation with that person in the event that they might just be the most qualified person for the job. What it turned into was a checkbox, right?
Because people making those decisions,
Already knew.
with rare exception, looking at the Rooney family in Pittsburgh, already knew and or could not get their minds wrapped around the fact that a minority may be the most qualified person for the job.
Now, on the other side of that coin, we've said this 100 times in regards to college football. If you're going to fire somebody, you better know who you're going to hire. So, to me, it seems like, one, the Rooney Rule is useless because, again, they already know who they're going to hire and should
Theoretically,
know who they're going to hire.
they should have a good idea.
The problem is that they're not even considering the idea of someone like Brian Flores, who, by the way, just, went 9-7
From the not 9-7,
9-8,
9-8, yeah.
Sorry,
No,
that's a hard habit to get out of.
from the moment Brian Flores hit the market, he should have been the most qualified, most sought after coach in this hiring cycle.
Instead, Josh McDaniel.
Instead, the Texans are wanting somebody else to interview Josh McCown to give them cover to hire him. Josh McCown, who is coaching high school football.
Volunteer
no disrespect to high school football coaches. And that's something that I want. That's a topic. What high school coaches do we feel like in this area are capable of coaching at the professional level?
One, but we'll get into that.
Yeah, I think that would be worth talking about. But again, no disrespect to high school football coaches, but really?
There's no way. That's
How do you
the problem.
sell that? How do you sell that in your locker room?
So Josh McCown is an embodiment of a bigger issue in sports, but and this actually in our world, Mo, if you look on ESPN and you see talking heads, almost every black person you see is a former player. And black journalists that I know are saying we will never have that chance
Because they didn't play.
But almost all of the white talking heads on ESPN, and that's as long as it's not a pregame show. Obviously, the pregame shows are much different, but none of them are former players. None of them. So it's just interesting because I feel like this is a sports-wide problem in every part of it, from administration to the coaches to the people who talk about the game. It's a problem, and I don't see a solution.
I don't know.
coming.
I don't know how you fix it, because to fix it takes a paradigm shift in thought processes. And if people don't see anything wrong with the way they're thinking, then that's not going to change.
And so hopefully that's what this lawsuit will, at least for the NFL, kind of put out there. Now, here's the thing. And this is what I said on
Hold that thought. Don't forget it.
I said this on Twitter the other day. It's the same thing Trump thought when he went to trial with the NFL and the USFL. He said, this is going to make people realize what the NFL is doing is not good for professional football. And they agreed with him. But he went bankrupt doing it. And so did the league. So anyway, I don't know.
A side dish to all of this with Brian Flores that may end up being a bigger issue.
That may wind up being the entree.
Yes. Of course. And I know you probably want to talk about it, but the owner of the Dolphins, Stephen Ross, and the allegation from Flores now that he was offered $100,000 for every loss last year or the year before.
It wasn't last year.
The year before.
Yeah.
So they could get the number 1 pick because they wanted Joe Burrow. That, you think of all the ties that the NFL has with legalized gambling now. That's, you talk about tanking and fixing games in a different way than what officials do.
Yep.
From the NBA. But I mean, that's I don't know how you prove it, but
apparently
it's interesting.
Hugh Jackson says he can help.
But to have a number of $100,000 is interesting.
Hugh Jackson, a guy who went 8-8, got fired after 1 year. Went 8-8 with Jason Campbell and Carson Palmer at quarterback and got fired.
Mm-hmm.
And we won't talk about his Browns tenure because nobody can win there. But Hugh Jackson has an opportunity, apparently. He says he has some information that can help this case, which is why it's a class action suit, right? Mm-hmm. I think this is going to get way bigger than the NFL wants it to get. But
well, the point that JP made regarding the possibility of, I mean, is that throwing games?
Is it?
I don't know how it's not.
Well, he asked him to throw games, but he didn't actually throw the games.
Yeah, he defied that.
So that's kind of the question is,
and that's probably more to the reason why he got
fired. That's why he got fired.
Oh yeah, because suddenly he was non-compliant.
Yeah.
Oh.
I have an idea, because we all know Brian Flores is probably done coaching in the NFL, right? If I am Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, I call Brian Flores and I say, you are now my vice president of player acquisitions, and every free agent you can get me to come from the NFL to the XFL,
I'll pay you $100,000.
I'll pay you $100,000. And then the XFL becomes a viable second product where black people and black players want to come and play for black executives. If I'm The Rock,
why don't you
make a call?
JP, get The Rock on the phone for Chris.
On it.
When we come back, we're going to talk to Shaq Mason of the New England Patriots about his time with Tom Brady and what he thinks is also what's Shaq doing right now? What's the offseason? What is the lead up to the Super Bowl when you're not playing in it? That's the question.
I don't know if I'd frame it like that if I were you.
But what are you doing the next couple weeks, right? So come back with us on Main Street Sports Today. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
Keep your home as comfortable as possible. If you have any issues with your air conditioner, electrical, or plumbing systems, call Lee Company. Our techs use visual findings and other technology tools to add transparency and clarity. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on the roof. We're here 24/7, so if you need us, call us. Lee Company. Call 931-548-4448 today or schedule your appointment at leecompany.com. That's leecompany.com.
Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net. Welcome back to Main Street Sports today. To the Lee Company studio, I'm Chris Yao, joined by Mo Patton. JP Plant also here with us. Getting ready for Wild and Wacky Wednesday, Mo. The weirdest and wildest news from across the world, always. Some very wild and weird stories.
Never a dull moment.
Typically originating in Florida or maybe Texas. But you never know. What are your plans for Super Bowl Sunday, Mo?
Well, typically I hang out with my folks and we just kind of watch the game and nosh on whatever we throw together. So very, very laid back, really. Because more often than not, we don't have a team in it. We're not watching with any rooting interest. We're just watching.
You watch because it's the game.
Because the last time we had a team in it, I was actually at the game. So.
Right. Yeah, there's that. Yeah. JP, this is the game that you did all the spatchcocking and all that, was it? That was Christmas last year? You didn't do that.
I don't know. They all run together. No, it wasn't for the Super Bowl.
Okay. No. How much spatchcocking do you do, JP?
Every once in a while.
It's not something that you do on a regular basis, I don't think, because it's a pretty involved process.
Yeah, there's a lot of work with the bird.
Yeah.
I think we should just get JP to smoke us some bologna either way. So
that could be done.
Well, I mean, we've been talking for a year about
just showing up.
A whole hog.
That's true.
True. Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. And JP's been
we'll wait for it to be a little warmer for that.
Oh, that was the thing last time. And then it got warmer.
And nothing happened.
And now it's gotten colder.
Well, that's okay. I'm curious what the next couple of weeks will be like for Shaq Mason, the New England Patriots offensive lineman, Columbia native, and we are joined now. Shaq, what's going on? What are you going to be doing for the next couple of weeks, man?
Next couple of weeks, I'm going to be, chilling, seeing the fam, kind of just resting a little bit, after the season. And then I'm going to be starting up my AAU that starts up pretty soon as well. So going to get back rolling with that.
He was scouting some of his AAU players last night, actually. out at Santa Fe for that Richland game. And Shaq, have you seen a better high school game than that one? I mean, that was about as good as it gets.
It was. I think the past two games I've been to has been, because I think the last game I was at was the Central and Independence game, and then the next one was the Santa Fe Richmond one. So I was like, man, I've been catching some good ball here lately.
Well, you've been in. I guess it's you, man. So where are you going Friday? Because wherever you're at, I want to be sure I'm there because it sounds like it's going to be a good one for sure. Shaq, obviously we wanted to try to get you on, and we appreciate you doing so. With the news that started up on Saturday and firmed up, I guess, yesterday. Let me ask you this: who did you think was going to retire first? Tom Brady or you?
I honestly didn't see any signs of him retiring at all. So I know once I hit year 7, which was this year, I was like, man, Tommy might play longer than me.
What do you?
I mean, for him to retire after, you know what I'm saying, the year he had is like, I mean, that's crazy. Like, it's amazing that, you know, he had arguably his best year of his career, and then, you know, he's retiring after that. So, I mean, I guess, you know, he's definitely going out on top, but I was definitely shocked.
What do you think the NFL without Tom Brady looks like?
Everybody's happy. Everyone's happy.
Except the Bucks,
I mean,
apparently.
It's hard to, except the Bucks, of course, except the Bucks. But you think of opposing teams in that division. I mean, they're happy to see it, but to see him retire, because I mean, you know, when the game's on the line and you got to go through number 12, it's gonna be a tough time, you know, for any defense, any team. So I think it's a little, you know, congratulations to him, and, you know, sending him on his way for a lot of teams. But I know the game will definitely miss him.
Speaking with Shaq Mason here on Main Street Sports today. And Shaq, you know, when you look around the league right now, and this has kind of been the storyline, Tom is the last of the old guard as far as quarterbacks are concerned. I guess Matthew Stafford has something to say about that, but in all reality, the kind of, you know, the guys that we looked at, the Ben Roethlisbergers, the Drew Brees, Peyton, Tom, they're all retired now. But when you look around this league, do you see the quarterback situation being okay? You feel like these young guys can pick up that slack?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we will never see another Tom Brady. I think I can, you know, confidently say that. You know, I think I can, you know, say that with a lot of confidence, that I don't think there'll ever be another quarterback like Tom Brady. But I think the league's in good hands, man. Just from, you know, you got guys up and come. I mean, I'm gonna start with my quarterback, of course. But Mac, you know, Mac is, you know, he had a good rookie year. You know, led us to the playoffs. You know, unfortunately, we lost first round, but you know, that guy has a bright future. Then you look around, you got your Josh Allen, you got your Patrick Mahomes, Lamar. So I mean, I think we got you know, I think the league's in good hands.
You know, when you talk about your guy Shaq, yeah, what's it like being suddenly one of the veteran members of your roster? And, you know, you protected a rookie this past year, that kind of thing. As you look around that locker room in New England, you're one of the old heads all of a sudden. I mean, I don't know where retirement is on your timeline, but just what is it like to have had the career that you have had to this point?
It's been great, just to, you know, for me, you know, starting out, coming out of college, you know, I came from, you know, a triple option program where I didn't know how my NFL career would shape out, just simply because of I'm asked to do things I've never done. But you know, I've had a, you know, pretty successful career so far, and I mean, honestly, I haven't really just sat back and kind of just looked at my, what I've accomplished and what I've proved and, all those type of things. Because I feel like I got so much more to prove, so much more left to do, so much more good ball left in me. But as far as being one of the older guys on the team, it's actually crazy because, my first 5 years, we always looked to, Tom because, he was the guy he held our hand the whole way, especially me and David, young guys coming in and having to start right away. So he kind of held our hand the whole time. And then once we hit like year 3, year 4, we turned into those leaders of the offense and things like that. So year 7 I feel like, really feel old because there's so many guys coming in that are born in 2000 and, it's like, wow, I'm really one of the older guys on this roster. So, but it's nice to, have be still here, after 7 years in the same spot and, doing what I love.
And when you say being still there, I mean, the New England Patriots are famous for nothing if not turnover. I mean, the fact that you have made it for this period of time kind of tells you where you stand and what Bill Belichick and that front office thinks of you, I would imagine.
Absolutely. I'm definitely, blessed to be in this position and, very thankful for, Kraft, Bill, and, because they think highly of me, I think highly of them. And, I'm blessed to land in this type of spot.
Well, I guess the real question is, how much of this new NFL is going to be able to, I guess, continuity? What continuity is there going to be now that the turnover has happened across the entire league? I mean, is this a different league? Is it, obviously with you playing with Mac Jones, it's kind of the same, he's a pocket passer, but the rest of the league seems to kind of have these guys like Lamar and Pat and guys who want to get out, Josh Allen, who want to get out of the pocket and run.
Right.
This game is changing.
Yeah. Yeah. The game is definitely evolving. For sure. You see less traditional QBs. You see more RPOs, and things like that, which is, perfectly fine because if you have a guy that has the skill set of a Lamar, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, like I think that you have to use what's best for your quarterback and what makes your machine run, which those type of plays and play styles definitely, make those teams succeed. But yeah, like you don't see many traditional cues at all anymore. So I think even Aaron Rodgers, he can scramble as well, when he has to. So you really don't see it much.
Speaking with Columbia native and New England Patriots offensive guard Shaq Mason here on Main Street Sports Today. Shaq, as we wind down, again, I ran into you at the Richland Santa Fe game last night. You have a AAU program marathon, and from what I understand, this isn't just something that you bought some uniforms and let some guys play. You're pretty hands-on with this thing, are you not?
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's something that I definitely wanted to take pride in is, a lot of guys in my position get accused of, anybody can throw money at something and just, hey, y'all take care of it. Like I don't want to be that type of guy, especially in my hometown. I'm at every tournament. I'm doing the dirty work. For as far as like going to find guys, putting in orders. Like there's no Shaq. There's no my guys on my team as far as staff wise. There's nothing that's too beneath me. If someone would say, like, I'll do anything for them, and they know that. And I think it goes a long way just as far as relationships with the kids. Just seeing, how much I care for them as far as just trying to put together something to help them succeed, help them get in front of eyes, get them, potential scholarships, get seen, and if one of my kids or any of them go to the next level and play ball, do whatever, like that's what I'm appreciative for. It's all for for me. It's all for the kids, and anything I can do to help them further their understanding of the game, further their understanding of life. I mean, I'm all for it.
Well, I could tell seeing the interaction between you and Alton Slaughter after the game last night, the kids really appreciate your involvement in what you're doing and just being able to, again, interact with you. Shaq Mason, Columbia native, New England Patriots offensive guard, joining us here on Main Street Sports today. Shaq, and I really appreciate you taking some time to hang out with us here on the show, and look forward to catching up with you again soon. Hey, who's real quick, who's your pick?
That's a tough one because I mean the Bengals are a scary team right now, but one of my close friends, Tony Michelle, he's on the Rams, so I think I'm gonna go with the Rams.
Okay, I think that's a solid pick, sir. Shaq Mason with us here on Main Street Sports today. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
When we come back, it is the weirdest and wildest news from across the world that I have curated or been able to curate. At least it may not be the weirdest and wildest, but it's what I've curated. So it's the weirdest and wildest that I could find.
I'm sure that'll stand up.
Sometimes it does. Sometimes it doesn't.
You should know, being from Alabama.
Well, sometimes what I think is normal is actually weird.
But what you think is weird is certifiable. Yeah,
most of the time. Yeah.
So there we go.
Oh yeah. Well, we'll get to it here on the other side of the break. Y'all stick around. Main Street Sports Day returns after this. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50 plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
Keep your home as comfortable as possible. If you have any issues with your air conditioner, electrical, or plumbing systems, call Lee Company. Our techs use visual findings and other technology tools to add transparency and clarity. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on the roof. We're here 24/7, so if you need us, call us. Lee Company. Call 931-548-4448 today or schedule your appointment at leecompany.com. That's leecompany.com.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net. this week in the weirdest and wildest news from across the world coming at you here on Main Street Sports today. It is Wild and Wacky Wednesday, and we appreciate you guys hanging out with us. If you missed any part of today's show, we've got the podcast. You can just search Main Street Sports Today wherever you get your podcasts. You can also give us a rating and a little comment to help us shoot up the charts. It'd be awesome. We'd appreciate that. If you want to watch the show, you can do that as well. It is available on Twitter at ms_sports today. It's also available on YouTube and Facebook. That's always a good way. Any of those ways is a good way to watch. We'd appreciate you guys doing that as well. Had a great show today. Obviously, we talked just then to Shaq Mason of the New England Patriots. We've talked about the Brian Flores situation. We've talked about National Signing Day, and we visited with Trackhouse Racing's Tom Norris earlier in the show as well for our NASCAR friends. And of course, halftime and the top stories were always fun. Talking about Washington football team logos, basically. Jerry West and Washington football team. So,
there we go.
There you go. Everything else about logos. But it is time to get into the weirdest and wildest news from across the world. But you know where we're going to start, Mo? Right here in Tennessee. Gotta love that. It's not Tennessee. It's not Tennessee, man.
Keep it local.
That's right. Keep it local. Because the Loudoun County Sheriff's Office is running a Valentine's Day special. That's right.
It is coming up.
Valentine's
Day.
Yeah.
By the way, gentlemen, out there, not the two of you necessarily, but
yeah,
we all need help reminding that, though, right?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Monday week.
Oh,
Here's the best part about this. This is not for your current Valentine. This is for that ex-Valentine that maybe scorned you.
we got to spend money on them too.
The Loudoun County Sheriff's Office is offering a month-long special that starts with a limited edition set of platinum bracelets, free transportation with a chauffeur, a one-night minimum stay in luxurious accommodations, and a professional glamour shot posted online for all to enjoy.
Nice.
It's also capped with a special Valentine's dinner, and all you have to do is let the Loudoun County Sheriff's Office know if one of your ex-Valentines is maybe driving with drugs, or maybe you have an information that they have an outstanding warrant. Just give them a call. They'll take care of the rest. Operators are on standby.
I bet they are. That's quite a package.
It's a pretty good deal.
Yeah.
Costs you nothing. Phone call.
Okay. I'm intrigued now.
That's solid.
Without a cost, yeah.
That's solid.
The platinum bracelets got me. I'm not going to lie.
It's because Eddie says that could be the gift that keeps on giving you around.
Very well could be.
It could certainly give for longer than Valentine's.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he says, laugh all you want, but someone reading this is going to call us and give us somebody.
What's the meme? He ain't lying.
Yeah.
He ain't lying.
Yeah.
Oh man. I just thought, man, that's something right there. Good deal. Costs you nothing.
Yep.
Make sure that your former beau knows that you haven't forgotten about them. That's all I'm saying. In Florida, Timothy
Florida
DeJoris, DeJoris, DeJoris,
Sure.
DeJoris. I don't think Timothy DeJoris is correct.
Not in Florida.
Although, by the way, have you seen Netflix that the show Emily in Paris? You heard about this?
I've heard about it, but I have not watched it.
Okay.
Right.
It's actually supposed to be Emily in Paris. It's supposed to rhyme. But everybody in America obviously is just Emily in Paris. That's not the name of the show. Did you see Peyton Manning on Saturday Night Live? He was like, they asked him about the football games this past Sunday. He was like, yeah, I heard they were good. He said, I was going to watch them, and then I turned on Netflix and started watching Emily in Paris and watched 2 full seasons. Missed everything. So it was hilarious. Which anytime Peyton's on Saturday Night Live, it's pretty funny. Yeah. So anyway, Timothy DeJoris was ordered by a judge to pay a $2,500 fine and previously forfeited $50,000 in proceeds from a crime where he mislabeled erectile dysfunction pills imported from China. Yeah. They found some packages that had been shipped from China at his house.
I bet they did.
They were they were addressed to Dr. Seltzer.
Good doctor.
Whoever Dr. Seltzer is. Inside the packages, agents found barrels of blue capsules.
Barrels.
Which an invoice labeled as containing shiitake mushroom extract.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
So, all righty.
Obviously,
So that's where that earthy aroma came from.
I mean, my goodness, what? I get it. Like, it's a big industry, right? I don't blame them for the guy wanting to sell that. I mean, some of those name brand pills are expensive, right? I mean,
It can be, yeah. So I hear.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, but
no.
Wouldn't know. I don't think this is a direction we want to go in.
Well, let's go in this direction.
All right.
We'll come back to Tennessee because Hamilton County Sheriff's Office apparently has been trying to fish out a boat in Chickamauga Lake in Soddy Daisy because not only is the boat in the river or in the lake, but so is the truck.
Oh.
Stayed attached.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah. Apparently, he didn't realize the boat ramp had a huge drop off and accidentally submerged his back tire into the water. Unfortunately, the fisherman could not stop the truck from entering the lake. The boat, trailer, and Dodge pickup, of course it was a Dodge, ended up submerged in the water. The driver escaped uninjured, thank goodness.
That's good.
But yeah, so be careful when you're in apparently Chickamauga Lake over there because it appears that they don't have very good launch points for your boats.
So, dude lost his boat and his truck and the trailer.
Yeah, he lost it all. Hope it was insured.
Imagine that conversation at home.
Yeah.
Sweetie, why are you walking? Well,
No.
it's like
No.
this.
Why did the police bring you home? Hon? Where's your phone?
What'd you
Because
do?
you know his phone was in there too.
His phone's in his pocket.
Yeah, but it was wet.
Oh, yeah, it's wet. He couldn't use it, but I mean, he's got it. At least he's got it.
Maybe if you're driving the truck, I don't keep my phone in my pocket when I'm driving.
No, I don't either.
Yeah, you're right.
Who knows?
You're right.
Guys,
Man, that's a rough day.
I love my wife. I want to make sure that everyone knows that. But
There's a book.
in the event that if I chose January 29th as my wedding date and I lived in Rhode Island, I would probably not just go ahead and decide to get married in a historic snowfall.
I think I saw a video of this.
Yes. What
Yeah.
were they thinking? They ended up getting married anyway, which
Yeah,
I mean, it's
on the
fine,
steps,
but like, what are you
outside.
doing?
Right? Did they get married outside?
Outside
They
in the
had-
snowstorm.
They had guests that came.
Why would you get married on January 29th
Why would you
in
pick
Rhode
that date?
Island?
That's a bad day. Don't pick that day. Consult the Farmer's Almanac, folks. Jeez. But hey, at least they're married. That's
Well,
what
at least
I
it
tell-
wasn't college football season. Although I'm not sure that anybody in Rhode Island cares about college football. So, I mean,
who knows?
yeah.
That's it for Wild and Wacky Wednesday. Hope you guys have had a great day, and we will see you tomorrow where we have a lot of high school stuff to talk about, and we'll have some high school. We'll have a high school coach on. We'll have some
Some
more
signing
nice
day coverage.
National Signing Day coverage from our
Correct.
friends around Main Street Preps. So
Let me tell you who we're going to have.
go ahead.
We're going to have Santa Fe boys basketball coach Brad Slaughter coming off of a win over
you go.
Richland, getting ready to travel to Richland this weekend.
The number 4 ranked Wildcats.
Yep, come on back.
All right, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a great day from Mo and JP. I'm Chris Zhao. See you then.